Pagod ka na bang magsulat ng contact tracing form sa bawat pinupuntahan mo? Natatakot ka bang mahawa dahil sa panulat na ginamit mo? Nangangamba ka ba para sa iyong data privacy? Higit sa lahat, may saysay nga ba ang mga pinagsusulat mo? Upang bawasan ang ating alalahanin sa tuwing magtutungo sa mga establishmento ngayong meron pa ring COVID-19 pandemic, ay ginawa nating mas madali ngunit mas maigting ang ating contact tracing sa Valenzuela City. Narito na ang Valenzuela Contact Tracing App o ang Valtrace. Sa pamamagitan ng Valtrace App, hindi na kailangan pang magsulat sa contact tracing form sa bawat pupuntahang establishmento. Kailangan lang ipakita at i-scan ang inyong unique QR code. Ang record ng inyong mga napuntahan ay direktang maitatala sa database ng ating Mega Contact Tracing Center na magiging malaking tulong para sa mas masinsinang contact tracing. Paano ba gamitin ang Valtrace app? Step 1. Mag-log on lang sa valtrace.upcase.net. Step 2. Sagutan ang online form at i-click ang Submit. Step 3. I-generate ang inyong QR code at i-save sa mobile phone. Maaari din itong i-print. Narito ang ilang paalalang dapat tandaan. Simula September 12, 2020 ay pwede nang i-download ang inyong QR code. Sa October 5, 2020 naman ay sisimulan ng hingin at i-scan ang inyong QR code sa bawat enclosed indoor establishment sa Valenzuela City, tulad ng mga mall, restaurant, grocery store, bangko, simbahan, palengke at iba pa. No QR code, no entry. Kaya mag-download na upang hindi maabala. Ang serbisyong ito ay libre at pwedeng gamitin taga Valenzuela ka man o hindi. Bawat isang QR code ay para lang sa isang tao, kaya dapat ay may sariling code ang bawat individual na papasok ng establishmento. Kailangan pa rin palaging dalhin ang quarantine pass sa tuwing lalabas ng tahanan. Ang QR code ay kakailanganin lamang tuwing papasok ng establishmento.
Hello everyone! Welcome to first day of our math discussion. I am super excited that you are with me today. Excited for all the fun activities and amazing discussions that we have lined up for you. For today's lesson, you are about to learn on how to add and subtract simple fractions and mixed numbers without and with regrouping, and solve routine and non-routine problems involving addition and or subtraction of fractions. So are you ready? Okay, let's begin. Because of COVID-19 pandemic, the World Health Organization, through national and local public health authority, reminds us to protect ourselves and others by taking some simple precautions like wearing face mask, face shield, and frequent use of alcohol-based sanitizer. And people nowadays are allotting an additional budget for this material. Just like our first problem, when Lita went to the market and spent fractions of her money as follows. She spent 3/8 for face mask, 1/8 for face shield, and the rest for alcohol. Now, the questions are, first, what fraction of her money goes to face mask and face shield? Second, what fraction of her money goes to alcohol? To solve this problem, we need to look for the given. And what are the given? Very good. The given are 3/8 for face mask. We have 1/8 for face shield, and the rest for alcohol. And what have you observed to our given? What type of fraction are those? That's right. Those are examples of similar fractions. When we say similar fractions, these are fractions with the same denominator, just like 3/8 and 1/8, in which the two fractions has a denominator of 8. Now, let's go back to the first question. Again, the question is, what fraction of her money goes to face mask and face shield? A while ago, we looked for the given. So this time, we will look for the operation. So what should be the operation that we're going to use to solve this question? Yes, we will add the fraction. So let's add the fraction using a number line. So I have here a number line from 0 to 1. And then we will locate first 3/8 for face mask. So that is from 0. And then we will add another 1/8 for face shield. That is from 3/8. And it will fall to 4/8. Or when we simplify the fraction, that is equal to 1/2. Since we're adding fractions with the same denominator, we just simply add the numerator 3 plus 1, and it will give us a sum of 4, and then write 4 over the common denominator 8. So meaning to say, half of her money goes to face mask and face shield. Now, let's proceed to question number 2. Again, the question is, what fraction of her money goes to alcohol? So in this question, we're looking for the remaining money of Lita. So to solve this question, what should be the operation? Very good. We will subtract the fractions. So this time, we will use a block model. So I have here a block that is divided into 8 equal parts. And the reason why we divided it into 8, because based on our givens, all of the fractions has a denominator of 8. And this whole block represents the total amount of Lita's money, which also represents as 1 or 1 whole, or 8/8 in fraction. A while ago, we found out that 4/8 or half of Lita's money goes to face mask and face shield. So just by counting the remaining blocks, we can now say that another 4 blocks out of 8 equal parts, or 4/8 and half of Lita's money goes to alcohol. Again, since we're subtracting fractions with the same denominator, we will just subtract the numerator 8 minus 4, and it will give us a difference of 4, and then write the difference 4 over the common denominator 8. And again, simplify the fraction. So what have you observed in adding and subtracting similar fractions? Yes, they both follow the same rules, wherein you just add or subtract the numerator and then write the sum or difference over the common denominator and simplify the fraction. Okay, so let's proceed now to question number 2. So here's the problem. According to Department of Health, the disposition of active cases last September 15, 2020 are as follows. 7/8 are mild cases, 1/12 are asymptomatic cases, and 1/24 are for critical cases. Now, to solve this problem again, these are the questions. First, what fraction of active cases are both asymptomatic and critical? Second, what is the difference in fraction between the mild and critical cases? Now, to solve this problem, we need to look for the given. And what are the given? That's right. The given are 7/8 for mild cases. We have 1/12 for asymptomatic cases and 1/24 for critical cases. And what have you observed to our given? What type of fraction are those? That's right. Those are examples of dissimilar fractions. So when we say dissimilar fractions, these are fractions with different denominator, just like 7/8, 1/12, and 1/24. Now, we cannot add or subtract fractions unless they have the same denominator. So the first thing that we have to do is to change them first into similar fraction. But how are we going to change them into similar fraction? Very good. By finding the least common denominator or LCD of the fractions. And after finding the least common denominator, we can now get its equivalent fraction and proceed in adding or subtracting similar fractions. Okay. So let's have a short review first on the least common denominator or LCD. When we say least common denominator, that is just simply the least common multiple or LCM of the denominators. For example, we have 7/8, 1/12, and 1/24. So these three fractions has a denominator of 8, 12, and 24. Using the listing method, let's get the multiples of the three numbers. So for the multiples of 8, we have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, and so on and so forth. And for the multiples of 12, we have 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, and so on and so forth. How about for the multiples of 24? That's right. We have 24, 48, 72, 96, 120, 144, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, the three numbers has a common multiples of 24 and 48. But we're looking for the least or smallest common multiple. And what is that? Very good. That is 24. So our least common denominator or LCD will be 24. Okay, so let's go back to the first question under problem number 2. Again, the question is, what fraction of active cases are both asymptomatic and critical? So using the given, what should be the operation that we're going to use? Very good. We will add the fraction. So we will add 1/12 for asymptomatic cases to 1/24 for critical cases. And as you can see, the two numbers have the two fractions have different denominators. So just like what I said a while ago, we will change them first into similar fraction by finding the least common denominator or LCD. And what is the LCD of the denominators 12 and 24? Very good. That is 24. Now using the LCD 24, let's get its equivalent fraction. So let's add. We have here 1/12 plus 1/24. Okay, so let's look at the denominators of 1/12. So from 12, it becomes 24. So how did it happen? Try to observe. How did 12 becomes 24? Yes, by multiplying 2 to 12. Or 12 times 2, the product will be 24. Now, the same rules will be applied to the numerator. So, we will also multiply 2 to 1. So, 1 times 2, the product will be 2. So, our new fraction will be 2/24. Or 1/12 has an equivalent fraction of 2/24. Now, let's proceed to 1/24. Since 1/24 has already a denominator of 24, so we will not change its numerator, or the whole fraction will remain the same. Okay, so now the two fractions have the same denominator, so we will add. Let's add the numerators. 2 plus 1, the sum will be 3. And then write the sum over the common denominator 24. And let's try to simplify the fraction. What is the simplest form of 3/24? That's right. That is 1/8. So meaning to say, 1/8 of active cases are both asymptomatic and critical. Now, let's proceed to question number 2. Again, this is the question. What is the difference in fraction between the mild and critical cases? So, what should be the operation this time? Good job! We will subtract the fractions because of the keyword difference. So, we will subtract 1/24 from 7/8. Again, the two fractions have different denominators. So, let's look for the least common denominator. And what is the LCD of the denominators 8 and 24? Correct. That is 24. Now, using the LCD 24, that will be our new denominator or common denominator. So, let's subtract the fractions vertically. We have 7/8 minus 1/24. So, let's concentrate first on 7/8. Okay, from 8, the denominator becomes 24. So again, how did it happen? By multiplying what number? Correct. By multiplying 3. Since we multiply 3 to the denominator, we will also multiply 3 to the numerator. So 7 times 3, that will become 21. So our new fraction or our minuend will be 21 over 24. How about 1/24? Do we need to change it? No, because 1/24 has already denominator of 24. So the fraction will remain the same. Okay, now the two fractions have the same denominators. So let's subtract. 21 minus 1. The difference will be 20 over 24. Again, write the difference over the common denominator, 24. And then let's try to simplify. Is 20 over 24 in simplest form already? Okay, not yet. And what is the simplest form of 20 over 24? You can write it on the comment box. That's right. That is 5/6. So meaning to say, 5/6 is the difference in fraction between the mild and critical cases. Now, let's proceed to the last problem. So, Ma'am Virgilio donated kilograms of rice to affected families of COVID-19 pandemic. Castro family and Santos family received 10 and 3/4 and 8 and 5/6 kilograms of rice respectively. However, the La Cruz family received 3 and 7/8 kilograms of rice. Now, these are the question. How many kilograms of rice did Castro and Santos family receive? And how much more kilograms of rice does Castro family receive than the La Cruz family? Again, to answer this question, we need to look for the given. And what are the given? Good job. That is 10 and 3/4 kilograms of rice for Castro family, 8 and 5/6 kilograms of rice for Santos family, and 3 and 7/8 kilograms of rice for the La Cruz family. So this time, what have you observed to our given? So as you can see a while ago on the first problem, we have similar fractions. On the second problem, we have dissimilar fractions. How about on the third problem? What type of fraction is this? Okay, those are examples of mixed numbers. And when we say mixed numbers, it is a whole number and a proper fraction represented together, just like our given. And in adding and subtracting a mixed number, we concentrate first on the fraction part and then on a whole number part. And we put them together for their sum and difference. Okay, let's go back to the question. Again, this is the question. How many kilograms of rice did Castro and Santos family receive? Again, what should be the operation that we're going to use to solve this question? Yes, we will add the fractions. So we will add 10 and 3/4 kilograms for Castro family and 8 and 5/6 kilograms for Santos family. Okay, so just like what I said a while ago, we will concentrate first on the fraction part of a whole number. And let's look at the fraction part of a whole number. So we have here 3/4 and 5/6. And as you can see, the two fractions have different denominators. So we will look again for the LCD of the denominators. And what is the LCD of the denominator 4 and 6? Correct. The LCD is 12. Now using the LCD, let's rename the fraction. Okay, so we have here 10 and 3/4 plus 8 and 5/6. Okay, so 10 and 3/4 has an equivalent fraction of 10 and 9/12. By multiplying 3 both to the numerator and to the denominator. So 3 times 3 we have 9, 4 times 3 we have 12. And for the fraction 8 and 5/6, it has an equivalent fraction of 8 and 10/12. By multiplying what number? Correct. By multiplying 2. So 5 times 2, it will give us a product of 10. And for the denominator, 6 times 2, it will give us a product of 12. And as you can see, the whole number part is still remain or does not change. Okay, so the fraction part has already a common denominator. Okay, so let's add. 9, let's add first the numerator. 9 plus 10. So the sum will be 19. And then write the sum 19 over the common denominator 12. And then let's add the whole number part. So we have 10 plus 8. So the sum will be 18. And then let's try to simplify. Is 18 and 19 over 12 in simplest form already? No. Because we can say that a mixed number, or we can say that a mixed number is in simplest form if the fraction part is in proper fraction and in simplest form. Okay, so let's look at our answer. Is the fraction part in proper fraction or in simplest form? No. So we will simplify, or we will change the fraction part into a mixed number. So 19 over 12 will become 1 and 7 over 12. And then we will combine all the whole numbers. So we have here 18 plus 1 plus the fraction part, which is 7 over 12. And then 18 plus 1, the sum is 19. Then let's combine it to the fraction part, which is 7 over 12. So meaning to say, our final answer is 19 and 7 over 12. And Castro family and Santos family received 19 and 712 kilograms of rice. Okay, so let's proceed to the second question. Again, the question is, how much more kilograms of rice do Castro family received than De La Cruz family? So again, what should be the operation that we are going to use? Yes, this time we will subtract the fraction. So let's subtract 3 and 7/8 kilograms of rice from 10 and 3/4 kilograms of rice. And again, look at the fraction part. Yes, the two fractions doesn't have same denominator. So we will look for the LCD. what is the LCD of the denominators 4 and 8? Correct. That is 8. So using the LCD, we will rename the fraction part and get its equivalent fraction. So let's subtract the fractions vertically. So we have here 10 and 3/4 minus 3 and 7/8. So 10 and 3/4 has an equivalent fraction of 10 and 6/8 by multiplying what number? Very good. By multiplying 2, both to the numerator and to the denominator. How about 3 and 7/8? Do we need to change it? No, because 3 and 7/8 has already a denominator of 8. So the whole fraction will remain the same. Now let's subtract. Can we subtract the fraction part 7/8 from 6/8? No again, because 6/8 is less than 7/8. So we will regroup our minuend by borrowing 1 or separating 1 from our whole number 10. So 10 will become 9 plus 1 plus our fraction part. And then that one whole number will be changed into a fraction. So that will become 8/8. And the reason why we use 8 in changing the whole number 1, because 8 is the common denominators of the fractions. Okay, now let's combine all the fraction part. So we have here the remaining 9 as our whole number. And then this is our fraction part. So since the two fractions have the same denominator, so we will just add the numerators. 8 plus 6. What is the sum? Correct, 14. So write the sum 14 over our common denominator 8. And then let's combine it or put it together to our whole number. Okay, so 9 and 14 over 8 will be our new minuend. Then let's subtract it to our subtrahend, which is 3 and 7/8. Okay, so let's subtract the numerators. 14 minus 7, the difference is 7. And then write the difference 7 over the common denominator 8. And then let's subtract the whole number. 9 minus 3. So the difference will be 6. Is 6 and 7/8 in simplest form already? Very good. So meaning to say, 6 and 7/8, Castro family received 6 and 7/8 kilograms of rice than De La Cruz family. Okay, so let's apply what we have learned on our previous examples to our first activity. So our first activity is entitled Fraction Maze. And here's the mechanics of the game. So you have to choose the correct answer in the maze from the starting line to lead you to the finish line. And don't forget to write your answer in the comment section. Okay, so are you ready? Okay, so let's rock. Okay, so here's our fraction maze. So this is the alien, and we will help the alien to travel across from the starting line or from the starting point going to the finish line by answering the problem or the hidden problem in each box and by choosing the correct answer in each arrow. Okay, so let's start. So let's start on the first problem. 2/6 plus 3/6. Is it 5/6 or 5/12? What will be the sum? Okay, so the correct answer is 5/6. Since the two fractions have the same denominators, we will just simply add the numerator. So 2 plus 3, it will give us a sum of 5. Okay, next. We have here 9/12 minus 5/8. What will be the difference? Is it 4/24 or 1/8? Okay, so the correct answer is 1/8. Why 1/8? As you can see, 9/12 and 5/8 have different denominators. So their common denominator will be 24. And then, so 24. And then the simplest form will be 1/8. Okay, next. 4 3/5 plus 1 1/5. What will be the sum? Is it 5 4/10 or 5 4/5? Okay, so the correct answer is 5 4/5. Why? As you can see, the fraction part of the mixed number have the same denominators, so we will just add the numerator. So 3 plus 1, the sum will be 4, and then add the whole number. So we have 4 plus 1, and then the sum will be 5. Okay, there he is. Next. We have, for the last one, we have 5 7/8 minus 4 3/6. Okay, so the correct answer is 1 3/8. So, 5 7/8 and 4 3/6 has an LCD of 24. 5 7/8 has an equivalent fraction of 5 21/24, while 4 3/6 has an equivalent fraction of 4 12/24. Since the two fractions have the same denominator, so we will subtract the numerator. So 21 minus 12, the difference will be 9. Then write 9 over the common denominator. And then let's subtract the whole fraction. Whole number. 5 minus 4. So the difference also will be 1. And then let's simplify 9/24. And that is 3/8. So our final answer will be 1 3/8. Okay, so there he is. Okay, so do you want more? Yes, because we have our second activity. Okay, so now you have to prepare any piece of paper and solve the following problems within the time limit. Follow the steps in solving word problems and don't forget to simplify your answer if possible. You can use any technique or method as long as you come up with the correct answer. And if you already know the answer, don't forget to write your answer in the comment section. Okay, so I will read first the problem and I will give you 20 seconds to answer each problem. Okay, so here's the first problem. Last week, Roy worked in his backyard garden. If he worked 4 1/3 hours on Saturday and 3 1/4 hours on Sunday, how many hours did he work in 2 days? Your timer starts now. Okay, so you already have a glimpse of the correct answer. So our correct answer is 7 and 7/12 hours. Next, let's proceed to question number 2. Mila harvests fruits and put it all in a basket. In a basket of fruits, 5/9 of the fruits are santol, 1/3 are bananas, and the rest are guavas. The question is, what fraction of the fruits are guavas? So your timer starts now. Okay, so the correct answer is 1/9 of the fruits are guavas. And for the last question, in a science experiment, Carla observes that a bean sprout has grown 1 1/4 decimeter taller. If the height of the bean sprout was 4 3/10 decimeter in the last observation, what is its height now? Okay, so your timer starts now. Okay, so the correct answer is 5 and 11/20 decimeter. Okay, so remember class, to add and subtract similar fractions, we just add or subtract the numerator and then write the sum or difference over the common denominator. Now, if it is a dissimilar fraction, we need to change first it into similar fractions and then add or subtract the same way we add or subtract in similar fractions. And if it is a mixed number, you just add or subtract the fraction part and the whole number parts separately, then put together the sum or difference of the fraction and the whole numbers. And regroup the fractions if needed, and don't forget to simplify your answer if possible. Okay, so for clarifications and concern, you can write it on the comment box and I will do my best to answer those questions. Okay, so we have our first question from Ans Joshane Rosales. Hello, Ans Joshane. So she is from Silvestre Lazaro Elementary School. And this is her question. How to subtract a fraction from a whole number? So as you remember on our example, on our problem number 3, question number 2, so we will separate 1 from the whole number part, and then that 1 whole will be changed into fraction. And then the number that we're going to use to represent the one whole in fraction is the common denominator. Then since we already have our fractions, so that's the time that we can now subtract the fraction part. And then we will just combine it to our whole number part. And of course, don't forget to simplify your answer. Okay, did I answer your question, Joshane? I hope so. Okay, since we don't have any more questions, so this will be your assignment on self-learning module, quarter 1, week 1, activity Flex Your Brain A and B. So this is all about addition and subtraction of fraction. Okay, thank you for participating and listening to our discussion. Again, I'm Teacher Marlene leaving you this message. Ano man ang sitwasyon, tuloy ang edukasyon. So, see you next meeting. Bye!
Dahil sa COVID-19 pandemic, napilitan tayong magbago ng paraan ng pamumuhay. Ika nga nila, New Normal. At maging sa edukasyon, kailangan na nating sumulong patungo sa New Normal. Ang pamahalaang lungsod ng Valenzuela ay gumawa ng hakbang upang matiyak ang tuloy-tuloy na pagkatuto ng bawat kabataang Valenzuelano. Sa pakikipagtulungan sa Department of Education o DepEd Valenzuela, ilulunsad na natin sa parating na school year ang Valenzuela Live. Ang Valenzuela Live ay isang online streaming school kung saan maaaring magpatuloy ang klase ng mga mag-aaral kahit sila ay nasa kanilang mga tahanan. Paano nga ba ang magiging sistema ng Valenzuela Live? Enrollment. Sa buong buwan ng Hunyo hanggang sa ika-15 ng Hulyo 2020 ay isinagawa ang K-12 enrollment sa lahat ng pampublikong paaralan sa Valenzuela City. Nagpatupad ang DepEd Valenzuela ng mga sistema ng enrollment kung saan hindi na kailangan lumabas ng tahanan ang mga estudyante. Learning Pockets. Gumawa ang DepEd Valenzuela ng mga learning materials tulad ng modules, worksheets, at study guides na naaayon sa most essential learning competencies. Ipapamahagi ang mga ito sa bawat mag-aaral sa iba't ibang paraan. Internet Connectivity. Humigit kumulang 130,000 ang enrollees sa elementary at high school sa Valenzuela City para sa school year 2020 to 2021. At ayon sa isinagawang survey ng DepEd Valenzuela, tinatayang 22,000 sa mga ito ang walang smartphone. At upang tulungan ang ating mga mag-aaral na nangangailangan at mapatutunayang walang smartphone, ang pamahalaang lungsod ng Valenzuela ay magpapahiram sa kanila ng mga gadget. Ang target beneficiary nito ay ang mga kapwa natin Valenzuelano na nabibilang sa poorest of the poor. Ang magulang o guardian naman na ang bahalang sumagot sa wifi o mobile data imbis na gumastos para sa baon at uniforme. Streaming School. Kung dati ay harapan ng diskusyon ng guro at mga estudyante sa loob ng classroom, ngayon ay tablet o smartphone na lang ang magiging kaharap nila. Lahat ng leksyon ay ituturo ng mga guro sa pamamagitan ng video streaming na maaaring mapanood ng kanilang mga estudyante sa kanilang mga gadgets. Ang Valenzuela School of Mathematics and Science o Valmasay ay gagamitin bilang off-site classroom. Dito ay sasagawa ng mga guro ang live streaming ng mga klase. Mayroong mga IT technician at moderator na magiging kaagapin ng mga guro para sa mas epektibong online classes. Magkakaroon din ng virtual communities kung saan pwedeng magsagawa ng follow-up discussions ang mga guro at estudyante gamit ang free online platforms na hindi nangangailangan ng mobile data subscription. Maaari rin ditong gumawa ng group chats ang mga magulang kung saan pwede silang mag-usap at magtulungan upang maging mas epektibo ang pag-aaral ng kanilang mga anak. Assessment. Ang mga estudyante ay kailangang bumuo ng portfolio kung saan ilalagay ang lahat ng ginawa nilang pagsasanay na susuri sa kanilang mga natutunan. Ang portfolio na ito ang pagbabasihan ng kanilang magiging grado. Ang pagbibigay ng marka o grado ay ibabatay sa panuntunan na ilalabas ng DepEd. Ngayong new normal, walang kabataang Valenzuelano ang maiiwan. Kaya tayo na, Valenzuela! Magbalik eskwela na sa tulong ng Valenzuela Life!